Over the years, the MCU has always been particularly light-hearted in tone and humor, but the most recent installments Thor, Love and Thunder, Ms. Marvel, and now She-Hulk, Attorney at Law have amped up that joyful energy. However, that will not be the case going forward, as the next Disney Plus show will be Secret Invasion, which has a much darker tone full of intrigue and espionage. Spies have been an important element to the MCU since the start with the likes of Black Widow, Nick Fury, and of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. Many fans would love to see more spies sneak their way into the franchise, and these capable and prolific spies should certainly come into play in the MCU soon. Mystique, Raven Darkholme, one of the best assets a great spy needs, is the ability to blend in anywhere and everywhere, and no one can do that better than the shape-shifting mutant, Mystique. Many will rightfully remember her from Fox's X-Men franchise, being played by Rebecca Romijn and Jennifer Lawrence. Though she was a central figure throughout, those films only scratched the surface of her capabilities. She has been many things throughout her life, from a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants to an X-Man, and all the while at her core, she's a spy. She is exceptionally cunning, and her powers only enhance those abilities. She's sure to be an important figure in the MCU when mutants arrive and could give Black Widow a run for her money as the best spy in the franchise. Spymaster. The name is all that Spymaster needs to earn a spot, but his deeds are the cherry on top of the cake. There have been 3 different people who have used the title, but the most interesting is the first because their identity is still a secret after over 50 years since their introduction. That could mean that anyone could end up under his mask, regardless of gender, race, and/or sexuality. It could even end up being someone fans are familiar with. Spymaster seems like a likely new addition to the MCU soon in Armor Wars because they are instrumental to the comics run. They stole Stark's designs for Justin Hammer, thus instigating the whole ordeal, which is logically what could happen in the MCU. Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, while her codename might seemingly connect her with Spider-Man, Jessica Drew aka Spider-Woman is better regarded as a spy than a web-slinging hero. Like many of the best, she has a tragic upbringing. As a kid, she was experimented on by her own father, giving her powers similar to Spider-Man, including electric venom blasts. She then became a brainwashed Hydra agent and trained under Taskmaster to become a spy. Eventually, she broke away from that reigning and became a premier hero. Many believe that she'll be introduced in Secret Invasion, being played by Emilia Clarke, since her abduction and replacement by Queen Baranki are foundational for that arc. After that then she could join the Avengers, more specifically the Secret Avengers with Captain America and more. Maverick, Christopher David North. The Super Soldier program is obviously best remembered for creating Captain America, but as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier showed, it's done much more. In the comics it's called Weapon Plus, which some might recognize from Wolverine's backstory with Weapon X. He was the 10th experiment in recreating a super soldier like Captain America. Hopefully, this is a story element brought into the MCU and introduces other Weapon X characters like Maverick. Born Christopher Nord, Maverick is a mutant who can absorb and redirect kinetic energy. He underwent training to become a covert agent and assassin for Germany during the Cold War before working for the CIA and the Weapon X program. Eventually he struck out on his own as a mercenary, putting all his stealth and marksmanship training to use, later taking up the moniker Agent Zero. Clay Quartermain. Of course, many of the best agents from Marvel Comics work for S.H.I.E.L.D., as is the case for Clay Quartermain. He was first introduced in the 1980s as a supporting character to Nick Fury and Thunderbolt Ross. Clay even began to head up a paranormal division for S.H.I.E.L.D., the Howling Commandos, not to be confused with the same team from the 40s as featured in Captain America: The First Avengers. Given his history and connections, there are plenty of options for how he could join the MCU going forward. A logical one would be in Secret Invasion or the Marvels as a possible spy and agent working with Nick Fury. Alternatively, he could be involved in Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine's plans in Thunderbolts, since she's leading the team for the government. Abigail Brand, another new character many fans think could show up in Secret Invasion, is Abigail Brand. She is a mutant with pyrokinetic abilities, best recognized by her verdant green hair. Abigail is the commander of SWORD, the agency featured in WandaVision, so if not in Secret Invasion, then perhaps the Marvels might be the place for her. She is a comparatively new character to the comics, having only been introduced in 2004, so much of her history is still untold. Foreigner: there are rumors that one assassin from Marvel Comics might be coming to live action, but not in the MCU. Christopher Abbott and Alessandro Nivola have both been cast as antagonists for Kraven the Hunter. Some theorize that one of them, Nivola most likely, could end up playing the Foreigner. However, if that's not the case and Sony's willing to share a villain, then he should join the MCU. Like Paladin, his true identity is unknown, but in his first appearance in 1986, he set out to kill Spider-Man. He doesn't have superpowers to rely on, so instead he became a peak physical specimen, training to be an incredibly adept mercenary and hand-to-hand fighter. The major caveat with his inclusion is that he seemingly murdered Ned Leeds, and that's something fans wouldn't want to see in the MCU. Quasar, Wendell Vaughn: some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents have gone on to bigger and brighter things, with one even becoming one of the premier cosmic heroes, Quasar. Wendell Vaughn is an interesting case for a spy because during his time at S.H.I.E.L.D., he was the underdog. His betters didn't think he had what it took, that he lacked the killer instinct to become a great spy. However, he proved them all wrong when he bravely donned the dangerous quantum bands that he was tasked with protecting to fight back against enemy soldiers. This act allowed him to become Quasar, who came to work alongside Captain America, Hulk, and other superheroes on Earth, before eventually venturing out to discover the origins of the quantum bands. While sights are set on expanding the multiverse currently, the cosmos are most certainly up next, and with that, Quasar can be introduced. Monica Chang: thanks to Black Widow, there are many new highly capable assassins and spies roaming free. Of course, there's Yelena Belova, who was recently confirmed to be returning in Thunderbolts, but one of the others could be Monica Chang. In an alternate comics universe, Monica is a former Black Widow herself and Nick Fury's ex-wife. That element surely wouldn't translate to the MCU, but she should still come into play sometime down the line. She could be one of the Black Widows freed by Natasha and Yelena, or she could just be an agent for one of the standing organizations in the MCU like SWORD. They'd have a lot of freedom in developing her into someone cool, but overall it would be nice to see Yelena with some good allies. Ant-Man, Eric Oggerty: while Scott Lang now gets all the attention and recognition as Ant-Man, some fans might not have known that he was the second person to use the name. The third is Eric O'Grady, a skeezy former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, although he did make attempts to become a more heroic figure like joining the Secret Avengers. Depending on the end results of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania and the whole multiverse saga, perhaps there might be a place in the MCU for O'Grady's Ant-Man. To differentiate him from Lang, O'Grady could even go by his other name Black Ant and act more as an anti-